Whew, well, you just gave us a great story, and as we wind down here, I would love to hear from you if you have any more fun stories up your sleeve. As the listeners know, I love to ask stories of for a story of synchronicity or serendipity, a positive paranormal story. I think you know that too. Knew that question was coming. So, wondering if you have pondered this whole episode on something to share.
I don't have a paranormal story so much, but I do have a story, an illustrative story of how all the events of our life can be used to advance the agenda of the soul, which I consider to be evolution. It's my parking ticket story, and I've told it elsewhere in lectures and so forth, so people may have heard it, but I don't think I've ever shared it with you, because this is my first time on your program. But I was coming out of that same coffee shop, I might add, coming out of a coffee shop in downtown where I live, in this small little town I live in Oregon. And there was a policeman putting a ticket on my car. He was just tucking it under the windshield wiper because apparently the parking meter had run out, and he was giving me a ticket for having stayed in my parking space past the time on the meter.
Mm-hmm.
So, I looked at him and I said, "Officer, could I talk to you a minute?" And I'm sure he thought I was going to give him a ration for putting the ticket on my. He said, "Yeah, what do you got?"
Mm-hmm. Hit me.
I said, "Well, I just wanted to tell you something. It's not lost on me that when you put that silver piece of metal on your chest in the morning and pin it to your shirt, you're making an implicit promise that you will stand between danger and me, whatever the danger might be, even if you think it might cost you your life. And I want you to know that I so get and appreciate who you are. This has got to be more than just a job to you. You've got to be clear about that when you put that piece of metal on your chest in the morning. And I guarantee you that your partner, when you leave the house, is very clear about it, hoping that you'll come back home that night. So I want you to know that I deeply appreciate who you are and what you do to make me feel safe on this street where I'm standing now." He reached under the windshield wiper and pulled out the ticket. He started to tear it up. He made the gesture. I said, "No, no, don't you dare. No. This is not a tit for tat. This is not a quid pro quo. I didn't say that to get you to tear up my parking ticket. You did that also as part of your job. And I appreciate you doing whatever the law invites and requires you to do. Please put the ticket back. I don't want you to think for a minute that I said that gratuitously to get you to tear up my ticket. I said that to you because I meant it."
Yeah.
Anyway, he put the ticket back under the windshield wiper, walked over to me, and he said, "You know what? I've been on this force for 27 years. And no one has ever said anything close to that to me. You've just made not my day. You just made my whole career."
Wow.
He turned around and he walked away. I know he didn't want me to see the little welling of water just under his eye. He didn't want me to see a grown man in a uniform starting to get watery-eyed or maybe even cry a few tears, but he walked away from me. And that was an experience of giving people back to themselves. And when I am asked, what is the assignment I've been given by God? Because I believe I have been given an assignment. I believe we are all given the same assignment. Change the world's mind about God. Give people back to themselves. Awaken the species.
Mm-hmm.
And so I see if there's anything I can do in any given moment. I don't always achieve it. I don't always do it. I don't want to pretend that I'm this guy who's walking on water, but at least I have an idea what my intention is.
Yeah.
to give people back to themselves, to offer them whatever energy, words, or a hug, or a smile, or whatever it might be that can cause them to remember the grandest aspect of who they really are.
Mm.
So that's maybe not the kind of story you were looking for.
I love that story. I love that story because it's such a great example of just getting a little creative with your perspective and opening your heart, like you have to do for that even to occur to you, as opposed to aggravation or what have you. And then the ripple of impact of this, something like that coming authentically, like it did. And so I get so in the pleasure that you get in the moment, right, as well. And it's like, this is the game. How do we open our hearts, get a little more creative, see things, as opposed to seeing things like checkers, more like chess, the bigger picture. And yeah, I really love that story. So thank you for sharing it.
You're very welcome, and thank you for having me on your program.
It's been such an honor and a pleasure. And for those who want to connect with you, what is the best, website? I know you also have your
Just go to
online group.
cwgconnect.com.
Yep. cwgconnect.com. We'll put it in the show notes.
And
I do have
CWG, of
one.
course, stands for Conversations with God. So anyone who wants to connect with that energy, just go to cwgconnect.com and they'll find me there.
Excellent. Excellent. I have one final question for you, and it is this. In 60 seconds or less, what is the meaning of life, according to Neale Donald Walsch?
Not according to Neale Donald Walsch, because I have nothing to offer that anyone else would have to offer as well. But according to what I've understood from the God of my understanding. So I'm not here to bring messages from Neale to the world.
Mhm.
Well, no one's going to put me in that position. But according to Conversations with God, the meaning of life, the purpose of life, is to provide us with a continuing opportunity through eternity to announce and declare, express and fulfill, become and experience who we really are. So that the purpose of life is for us to have an experience of ourselves, of our true selves. And if we look into each of the most important moments of our life, we will see that they offer us that opportunity. And we will see that in some of those moments, we actually achieved that. All of us have had moments in our life when we've said, wow, now that's who I really am.
Mm.
And all of us have had moments when we've said, whoa, I don't know what I was thinking. How did I come up with that response? But I think the meaning of life is that we are offered an opportunity continually through all eternity to demonstrate our true identity.
Mm. Yeah. Well said. I've been asking that question for many years. You're the first one to proxy God to answer, and how appropriate to end it coming from you. And I can't even give you any slack for taking longer than 60 seconds, because it was beautiful and well said, my friend. Thank you, Neale, for joining. And yeah, all of you for tuning in, your beautiful brainwaves and incredible hearts. Till next time, journey well.